Hey, and listen, Joe, thanks for hanging in there, all right? Yeah, I'll tell her. Bye, then. That was Horton Pharmaceuticals. They were pretty shaky till we told them.
I see Emily's made herself right at home here in Connor's office, huh?
Well, she's doing the best with a pretty tough situation. We all are here.
Oh, I know. I know. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to jump down your throat. I guess I'm just a little sensitive about things like this. Must be my glorious Cabot upbringing, huh?
You know, it's like I said to you at Grosse Pointe. I had a chance to get to know your father a little better, and well, I think you might be misjudging him a bit.
I'll tell you what. I won't misjudge you if you don't tell me that I'm misjudging my father. Is that a deal?
Well, that's a deal. As long as we can kiss on it.
Rosanna, good. Have you heard anything about Holden yet? It was all I could think about in my meeting earlier.
God, you know, I haven't heard a thing, Emily, but I'm sure Caleb's doing everything he can to find him, you know.
The role of Hal Munson is being played today by John Hillner.
I gave Holden the tape and the picture of Lily.
Damn it, Snyder! You had explicit orders. Nobody outside the department was supposed to see that evidence without my say-so.
Yeah, Lieutenant, I know it was a stupid thing to do.
It was a hell of a lot more than stupid. You may have just cost your brother and Lily their lives.
And I really had no idea that Shannon would show up when I was visiting Courtney in the hospital.
Sweetheart, I know. How could you?
Well, I just wanted you to know. I think it's best that we be open and honest under these circumstances.
Yeah. Well, hopefully these circumstances will change once you're relieved of your duties as Shannon's custodian at the hearing this afternoon.
I very much appreciate you testifying in Shannon's behalf.
Well, the sooner Shannon's immigration problems are worked out, the sooner we can work out the rest of this situation and we can get on with our lives. I'm being totally selfish, you know.
I appreciate that. I appreciate your honesty and your understanding.
Well, that all comes with loving someone, loving you very much.
And I love you with all my heart.
As the world turns.
Oh, I needed that.
It's always there. Shannon, hi. We didn't expect you.
No, obviously.
We were just on our way out to lunch.
Well, don't let me stop you. Bon appetit. I just came by to get your opinion on my outfit that I bought at Fashions for the hearing. So, what's the verdict? How do I look? I'd settle for alive.
Oh, well, you look that, indeed. I'm sure the judge won't refuse you.
Oh, you don't think it's too much? I mean, I've heard how stuffy courtrooms can be. Oh, no offense, Jess.
None taken. But we won't be in a stuffy courtroom. The hearing will be in the judge's chambers.
We?
Shannon, listen, since you're no longer a fugitive from the Immigration Service, we need to set up some kind of permanent financial situation for you.
We can talk about that later, if we really need to. Wasn't it good seeing Courtney today?
Yes, Duncan told me he ran into you in Courtney's room.
Oh. Well, you know, she thinks of him like a knight in shining armor. I mean,
Yes, well, he doesn't need to be a knight in shining armor or any kind of hero to me and Bonnie.
Hi.
Hi, Lisa. Listen, there hasn't been anything on the wires about Holden.
Oh, well, I guess you would want to run the story about Holden's disappearance in the evening edition, though.
Oh, well, we will as soon as we get the confirmation, and then there'll be other news as well.
Yeah, well, I just hope it's good news.
I just can't understand why Holden would try to rescue Lily on his own, knowing what kind of person he's up against.
Oh, I can. See, there's a certain kind of love. It's as persistent as bees on a mountain flower, eternal as the Great Pyramids. And once you find that love, there is nothing in the world, no hardship, no circumstance, that can come between the two of you.
For a rookie, I cut you all kind of slack, Snyder, because I thought you had brains. Then you go and disobey a direct order.
I know. I'm not trying to make excuses here, Lieutenant. But you have to admit the circumstances are unusual. We showed Damien the evidence, we showed Lucinda the evidence, and she owns a newspaper in this town. We even showed the evidence to Eduardo that Holden is Lily's ex. It was killing him not to know what was going on.
So now he could really be dead. Big improvement.
Joel, I know you're gonna think this is nuts, but Holden and Lily they were always very close. It was a unique relationship. I had a gut feeling that maybe he could come up with something from the photo that we had missed.
Snyder, first year out, you trust my gut feelings. You follow my orders, and you do not question them. Do you got that?
Yes, you're right. Next time I will, I swear.
If there is a next time.
Is there any word from Hans yet?
No, but as you know, he's been a very busy boy.
So what, you think Holden found Hans and Hans did something to him?
Considering the way we found his car, that's a good guess. Let's hope Holden wasn't in it when it wound up at the bottom of the river.
Well, if he was and the window's open, maybe he could have gotten ashore, you know?
Well, we're still dragging the river, so we'll know soon enough.
Look, sir, I really think I should be down there.
No, you are out of this. You are in serious trouble, Snyder. I will let you know what disciplinary action I'm going to take after I've made my decision. Hal, walk out with me, will you? There's something I want to run by you.
I really screwed up.
You did, my friend. You used very, very poor judgment. You let your emotions get in the way. It happens to the best of them, Caleb. Ask Margot. She made a lot of mistakes in her career.
No, not like this one. This mistake could cost my brother his life.
Is it Holden? Caleb?
No, it's not about Holden. I told Joel I gave Holden the evidence. Now I'm just waiting to see if I still have a job.
Boy, still no answer out at the farm. That means Mrs. Snyder's probably either at the police station or the hospital. I feel so sorry for her. It's like everything is falling apart at once.
But you can't let it, Rosanna.
No,
just
you can't. Now, enough of the doom and gloom here, all right? Holden is a veteran survivor. He'll probably show up with Lily on his arm, knowing him.
You know what? And I'm gonna make sure he has a company to come back to. So, what do you say? Let's get cracking.
Oh, let me just make one quick phone call about my car, and then I'm out of here, okay?
Well, it looks like Rosanna doesn't see you as the Benedict Arnold of baby brothers any longer.
Well, I think the reason she came down on me so hard was just, you know, her upbringing.
And think, I would have given my eye teeth to grow up in a mansion in Grosse Pointe with my daddy, one of the most prominent businessmen in the country.
Yeah, tell me. But, you know, she's her own person. Gotta admire her for that.
It's hard. Mine is still busy over at Sparky's. You know what, Evan? I think I'm just gonna head on over there. That obnoxious mechanic said my car just needed one part, so it's gotta be ready by now.
Okay, well, you know, I'd give you a ride over, but,
No, that's okay. You know, they got this great little thing that goes right by there. It's called a bus. You should try it sometime, really. It's great. It's roomy. You get your own driver and the social contact.
really? Yeah, with that, you're out of here. I'm
Here,
picking you out myself.
Take these, please, and go over them with Connor. Thank you very much.
Is Connor in the conference room?
No, actually, she's using my old office right now.
Temporarily, come on.
Temporarily. Okay, Emily Stewart, CEO. Let's get to work. Not about to let my life's work go down the drain.
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Funny. Listen, don't blame me. Janie ordered me back here.
Well, Janie is the boss.
Well, always was. It's the painting with that jacket. It gives you this iridescent glow. Just lovely.
As usual, Mr. Montgomery, you've made my day.
Yeah, well, the day is still early yet.
And I take it you didn't come bearing welcoming gifts.
No. I wanted to tell you this in person. One of your major clients jumped ship to Worldwide.
And Aaron made you this little card this morning. It says, "Get well soon. I love you, Aaron." Get well soon. I love you.
How you doing, Emma?
Depends on how he's doing.
Well, there's good news. The cerebral hemorrhaging has stopped and the medication has reduced the swelling, so his blood pressure's gone down.
Thank heavens for that. Why is he still in a coma?
Well, unfortunately, the swelling has caused dysfunction in part of the brain. That doesn't mean that he won't recover. We'll just have to do this day by day.
Hi.
Hi.
Valerie's all checked out at the Lakeview.
Has there been any change?
No, I'm afraid not.
Can I talk to you for a second?
Sure.
Oh, Lord. What am I going to tell Debbie to explain why he hasn't been in touch? She worships her father. And with all her emotional problems, I don't know what this is going to do to her. You know, I had hoped to come back with some good news. I know.
You know, I'm worried about Mama. She's not been eating. She hasn't slept in I don't know how many days. You know, if this keeps up, she's going to end up here in the hospital with Ned, I'm afraid.
I'll have a talk with her, Seth. And I'll pass the word on to John. He's her physician.
Thanks.
Are you talking about something that I should know? Or...
The only thing you should know is that it's time for lunch. Why don't you go down to the cafeteria and have a hearty lunch, if that's
Really,
possible?
I couldn't eat a thing.
Emma? Sit down.
Come over here. Come on.
Take it easy.
Oh, my.
Just sit down. That's it. Put your head down and look straight ahead. Take a deep breath. That's it. Deep breath. Is that better?
Yeah, I think it's just probably just a little dizzy spell. I'm okay.
Well, let's make sure.
How about we open with Mr. Gibson? Just let him talk. Just let him tell our viewers what these kids have to do to survive on the streets before they find a place like the Earl Mitchell Center. Kim, it'll blow your audience away.
I'm not sure that's what we want to do to our audience. Seriously, it's not that I don't see that you have merit to your point of view, but since I'm going to be interviewing the two families with the two runaway children, I think we should continue the focus with them. Let them talk about how they worked their way through the situation and got back together again. It's positive, it's life-affirming, and it gets the message out to other families who might be in the same situation.
Sure. Hey, it's your show, right?
Well, with a lot of help from you. Thank you very much. This was a terrific idea you had, and you've done a wonderful job pulling it together.
Oh, my goodness, hello. It's nice to see you
Good
again.
to see you. If I'm interrupting, I can...
No, I think we're finished. No, oh, I'm sorry, that's right. You all haven't met. Jim Enright of the McCormick Ad Agency.
Oh.
This is my boss. I should say bosses. Kim Hughes and Parker Winslow.
Your agency's doing a great job in selling time for patterns.
I'm glad you're pleased. Kim, I'd know you anywhere.
Last we meet face to face. I'm sorry I had to miss our lunch last week, but I know I was admirably represented by Janice.
Very admirably. In fact, I'm following up her invitation to tour the studio, if this is a good time.
Perfect time as far as I'm concerned. Want to do the honors?
I'd be glad to.
We'll chat later.
Nice to meet you.
Okay, right this way. This is the site of tomorrow's big taping, show on teenage runaways.
Really? So Kim bought your idea after all?
Oh, in a way. Wasn't exactly the slant that I had envisioned, but I saw the piece as harder edged. About middle-class kids toughing it out on the streets. Ugly but real, especially for our younger audience, which this show's been losing in the past few months. But Kim's the boss, and if she feels that the softer approach is the way to go, then...
Too bad. Your angle would have boosted ratings, which would have made this show an easier sell and put a big smile on my boss's face. And Kim won't reconsider?
I don't think so. But since it could affect our advertising, I suppose it'd be worthwhile to run it by one of the other owners. Someone who might be a little bit more objective.
Look, Shannon, honey, would you please, darling, try to calm down. Look, in just a little while, this whole thing is going to be settled. You're going to be legal and free.
Oh, from your mouth. What on earth is keeping Duncan?
Oh, hi.
Hi. Mildred Torres here yet?
No, and she won't be. I wasn't about to ask my husband to waste his hard-earned money on a lawyer to prove I'm alive when any idiot can see that I
if
am.
I knew that you were reticent about asking Duncan, I would have been more than happy to pay for your
It's not the money. It's the principle.
If you want my opinion, and I can see that you do not, you should have representation in there, Shannon.
Well,
It's the way these things are done.
I don't need representation.
Okay.
I mean, I
Convince yourself
can prove
then. Go ahead.
Morning.
Hi.
Good morning. Oh, well, I was afraid that you were going to miss my rebirth.
So I hear Judge Moss is presiding?
Well, is that good or bad?
Well, he's a stickler and goes strictly by the books.
What's the worst case scenario, Tom?
That depends on what immigration decides to charge her with, and they have a lot to choose from. The worst, I'd say, a fine, a year in jail.
Oh, that's preposterous. Why would the government want to waste money on putting innocent people in jail?
Shannon, we're going to do everything we can so that doesn't happen.
Duncan, I need to talk to you alone for a second, please. Look, I don't mean to make things any more difficult than they already are, but the truth is I feel very uncomfortable thinking about Jessica being in there when I'm before the judge.
Jessica would never do anything to hurt your chances.
No, it's not that, per se. Just you have to admit that we're not exactly on the same team here. And things are complicated enough for the judge and me without bringing in all these Mrs. McKechnie's, dead, alive, pretenders, et al. So I'd really prefer it if Jessica stayed out here during the proceedings. You've always been a diplomat, Monomore. I'm sure you can find some way of explaining it to her.
Emily, I'm sorry that you lost home care. I can try to make it up to you by taking you to lunch. Your choice.
Okay. All right, well, we could take the Concord de Maximes, have tea at the Ritz, and take the QE2 home. That would take care of about a week's worth of billings.
I take it that's a no?
I'm swamped. I can't. Why don't you ask me next week?
Should I be taking this personally? Emily, I had nothing to do with this. I hope you know that.
I do. I do. It's just that Lucinda has been like a vulture, circling and swarming, just waiting to swoop up our client since Connor's arrest. You know, it amazes me. With everything that's going on with Lily, the woman still has time to steal my clients.
Sharpening her claws is what's keeping her from going nuts. She's in very bad shape. She passed out at the office yesterday. John had to take her home.
Well, misguided though it may be, I do believe she loves her daughters very much. Speaking of daughters, I'm surprised Sierra didn't hop on a jet when she heard about Lily.
Yeah, well, she was planning to last weekend, but there was some duty that called, some government crisis. Look, if you won't let me take you to lunch, how about if I go get you some and bring it back here?
All right. If you promise to bring me something chocolate.
Excellent. I will do that. Let me just call my office.
Yeah,
all
okay.
right?
While you're talking to your boss,
Yeah.
tell her to savor her little victory all she can.
Oh, yeah, right. Yeah, I'm going to do that. Then it'll be off with my head, not to mention my job.
Oh, shame. Then you'd have to come work for me.
But then I'd just be a head. It would be horrible. You have to hold me up to the phone.
Yeah. Yeah, Connor, as soon as I find out, I'll let you know. Okay.
I warned you. I told you we couldn't trust Montgomery. Now he's
Wait a
pulled the
minute,
rug right.
Evan, if this is about home care, I already know. Craig told me he had nothing to do with it.
Oh, and you believed him. Well, why don't we just hand over the rest of our
Evan,
accounts? That way we won't have to steal them.
The subject is closed.
We'll continue with part 2 of As the World Turns in just a moment.
Every day, it's all-out war.
I want my baby back.
Every day, they're staking their claims.
Peter is not your natural child. I am Peter's grandfather.
And coming out fighting.
I would steal him if I had to.
The battle over the baby begins.
Quick, turn on the light.
Guiding light.
It's the romance you never expected.
Where the hell have you been? I've been worried sick.
Jack's mom falls for Dana's dad.
Jack, we went to a hotel.
Oh, my God.
All new Love and War after Murphy Brown tonight.
And now part 2 of As the World Turns.
I wasn't expecting anybody. The stuff I was wearing got messed up. So what are you doing here?
I came to get my car, obviously. I tried calling you several times, but the line was busy every time.
Well, you wasted a trip. I haven't had a chance to put that new starter in yet.
You're kidding, right?
Nope.
You mind telling me why?
Well, something more important came up.
That's it? Look, I told you that I needed my car today. And you said
Look, I know
that
what
if
I
I
said.
came at...
But I just told you this was more important.
Why? What exactly was more important?
Well, I was fishing this car out of the river. Belonged to some guy by the name of Snyder who disappeared last night.
Holden? Holden Snyder?
Hey, you know him?
Yeah, I know him. I live with his mother out on a farm in Luther's Corners. Was he in?
No, car came up empty.
Well, if I'd have known you were having lunch with Craig, I would have driven Rosanna to Milltown to pick up her damn car.
Evan, we're brown bagging it. Besides, it's going to give me a chance to talk to him about the Riverwalk, which happens to be BRO, okay?
And that's my account, by the way.
You know what? We're both really overworked. Let's just try to cool it, okay? And I'm sorry that I snapped at you earlier, but sometimes, Evan, you don't know when to stop. Now, why don't you go back to work and find a client to replace home care, preferably one of Lucinda Walsh's.
Well, that might not sit too well with Craig.
You're pushing.
Hey, what's his problem?
Right now, me.
And I think I had a little something to do with that.
Among other things. Not the least of which is the fact that all this extra work is putting a damper on his social life. The burdens of a social life. I remember it well.
And ye shall again. Craig's on your heels.
Stop. Where's my lunch? Talk to me about Riverwalk.
The Riverwalk. You want to know about the Riverwalk? Okay, well, it's a walk. It's by a river. All right, fine. Why don't you come to the opening yourself? Chocolate croissants.
Me at Lucinda's opening, right?
Why not? Come on, you should be there. You rep Barbara. Her boutique is going to be a huge draw there. I mean, if Lucinda's going to get a lot of mileage out of this, why shouldn't you two?
Well, it's a lovely sentiment, but I don't think I'm going to find myself waiting by my mailbox for an invitation. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're right. It really wouldn't make any sense since I'm hand delivering it.
The man likes to live dangerously.
You know it.
I can't.
Why?
If I show up to Lucinda's opening, she will have a heart attack.
I know CPR. Come on, Emily, come on. I mean, if you don't want to go because of Royce,
It has
that I understand.
nothing to do with that.
Emily, you loved that guy. That's not something that you get over like the flu. You don't bounce back from something like that, no matter how badly you've been hurt. Take it from me.
Why should I take it from you? Aren't you happily married?
Any news about Holden?
No, Mama, but I'm sure they'll find a clue when they go over his car. We just wanted to stop by and see how Ned was doing.
Well, he's about the same. Really, I think you'd probably be more help down at the station house leading in the search.
Yeah, well, I wanted to check in, you know. Don't worry. They'll find something. It'll be all right.
Emma, I'm very sorry about Ned. Look, I know this isn't the greatest time, but I need to speak to Ned's ex-wife about Debbie. It's about the Lafferty investigation.
Well, Valerie's in there with Ned at the moment.
All right. Thank you.
Emma, where's Aaron?
He's with Janie Cobb.
Rough break. Must be tough on Debbie, too. Frankly, I'm kind of surprised that she's not here with you.
She doesn't know. I thought if I waited, I'd have better...
Look, I hate to ask this, but it's important that I speak to her about the Lafferty case. I tried to call her in New York at your place, but I
She's staying with friends.
Well, if there's a number that I could reach her at.
No. Mr. Munson, my daughter is very fragile right now, thanks to Link Lafferty. And the last thing she needs is you dredging it all up again.
Look, I can sympathize with that. But she may have information that can make a big difference for a woman who I believe is innocent.
My daughter cannot help you. She has nothing to say to you. Nothing. So now will you please leave her in peace?
That's a good place to start.
Yeah, I think it's a natural.
Natural? Must be talking about me and my work on Medical Minute.
You
Hi.
bet. Hi, honey.
Hey, Parker. Doctor.
Actually, we're talking about running a promo before the nightly news for my show on Runaways.
Oh, that was Janice's brainstorm, wasn't it?
Right.
Where is your young protege?
She's doing a VIP tour for the new agency rep. Honey, you're here a little early. We weren't expecting you.
Yeah, I know, but there's something I wanted to talk to you about.
Oh, well, I've got some calls to make. Break a leg, Doc.
Thank you.
What's up?
I just left Emma at the hospital. She told me that yesterday Holden decided to try to find Lily on his own. He hasn't been seen or heard from since, and his car was found in the bottom of the river.
Oh, my God. Do they think Hans did it?
Well, I don't know, but that's certainly a possibility.
Janice.
Well, that's why I'm here. I thought we should be the ones to tell her. I just hope they find that kid safe and sound.
Listen, let's check the newsroom and see if there's anything in on it before we talk to her.
Hi.
Hi, Jim Enright. I'd like you to meet the star of Medical Minute, Dr. Bob.
AKA this young lady's husband. How are you?
Pleasure to meet you.
Well, listen, the show on Runaways must have advertisers knocking your door down.
The more the merrier.
I'll just go get my notes. Today's topic, the dangers of self-medication.
There's no rush on that. We have something we have to check.
Oh,
Be right
okay.
back.
Oh,
Can I get you some coffee, Jim?
lovely. Yeah.
Okay.
I still think it's a shame that Kim didn't go with your angle on the Runaway story.
Well, it is her show.
Ever think of hosting your own?
Only constantly. I subbed for Kim last year, so I got a little taste of it.
I'm surprised she didn't keep you on. Politics?
No, nothing like that. Kim has been incredibly supportive of me. She's just afraid I'm gonna burn out before my time. So here I am, just waiting for another shot.
I hope it's soon.
Well, you never know.
Oh, how'd it go?
Oh, you certainly were right about that judge. Boy, I would hate to face him with a traffic ticket. But you know, it was really simple. All I had to do was swear that Shannon is who she said she was, and that she was my late husband's niece, Duncan's wife. And I'm sorry, that was very tactful.
No, that is the reality. At least until the judge revokes the declaration of death and they can get a divorce.
Well, honey, I wish it were that simple.
It is that simple. Lisa, as much as Shannon may love Duncan and want to pick up where they left off, she can't. Come on, we both know how devastated he was when he thought she was dead and how long it took for him to work through that, but he did, and he has moved on with me and with Bonnie. And Shannon is just going to have to accept that and get on with her life.
Well, Jess, I think you don't realize that time did march on, but for Shannon it didn't. And the whole time she was in that horrible jungle, all those 3 years, she had that dream that kept her alive, the dream of being with Duncan again. And then when she came home, oh, honey, you can't blame her for not wanting to give up that dream. There's nothing to replace it. She's so vulnerable right now, and she's scared to death.
Well, she's not the only one.
Jess, if only this could be worked out so that no one would...
So that no one would get hurt?
Yeah.
I don't see how that can happen.
So, as you can see, Your Honor, I was born in Philadelphia. Well, South Philly, to be exact. And then on November 6th, 1989, I married this wonderful man in the most incredible Scottish castle. And we were living very happily here in Oakdale when his ex-wife showed up and tried to kill me. And then she somehow managed to convince my husband that she had succeeded. But obviously she hadn't. But you have all that in front of you. Along with me.
It was then that you asked the court for the declaration of death?
Yes, Your Honor. I was firmly convinced that Shannon had perished. Otherwise, I would not have made the request.
Your Honor, all that I ask of you is that you give me back my life. I've lost so much of it already.
Mr. Hughes, do you have anything to add?
Only that I have known this woman for years, and I too can vouch that she is who she says she is.
In the light of the testimony, the documented evidence, and her appearance here before me, I hereby set aside the previous declaration of Mrs. McKechnie's death.
Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you, Your Honor. Oh, I told you it would work. Oh, Your Honor, I am still Mrs. McKechnie. Legally.
Since the voiding of the marriage depended upon the declaration of death, you and Mr. McKechnie are legally married.
Oh, yes. You worrywart. You thought I needed a lawyer.
Now that the simpler matter has been disposed of, we'll adjourn for 15 minutes. And when we come back, I will consider the very serious charges the Immigration and Naturalization Service has brought against Mrs. McKechnie.
I just couldn't believe it when this mechanic told me he dragged Holden's car out of the river. I'm still shaking.
Man. Well, at least he wasn't in it. Well, look, there's no use thinking the worst yet, so why don't you just grab your car and come on back?
I can't. He's still working on it.
What? Oh, damn it. I wish I wasn't so swamped down here. I'd have gone with you. Hey, look, I'll tell you what. Here's a plan. Meet me at my place. We'll spend the night.
Oh, maybe that's not such a hot idea. You know, I know you have a lot of work to do, and I really shouldn't leave Mrs. Snyder home alone tonight, you know? Listen, I gotta go. I'll talk to you later, okay?
Rosanna, I love you.
I love you too. Bye.
Have you reached Mrs. Snyder yet?
No, I haven't, but I think she must know by now. One of her other sons is on the Oakdale Police Force. Is my car ready?
That'll be 169.29.
Great. Okay, I'll write you a check.
Cash only. That means no personal checks, no credit cards.
You guys don't even take credit cards? Oh, come on. You don't expect people to carry around that kind of money, do you? This check is
Well,
good, really.
okay. I'll make an exception in your case.
Thank you.
I'll take a bank check.
Oh, come on. I have plenty of ID
Sorry,
in here.
cash or bank check, or I can't give
Give
you
me
a
a
card.
break. What do you want me to do? Take the bus all the way back into town, go to a
There's
bank,
a branch
and
of
then
Oakdale Savings a few blocks down from Ruby's.
Fine. You're really enjoying this, aren't you?
Yeah, just don't take too long, huh? I'm out of here at 2 o'clock today.
You know, I was just thinking, maybe if you and Sparky didn't take so many breaks, it wouldn't have taken you 2 days to put in a simple spark plug.
Starter.
Yeah, starter.
Starter makes a difference. Yeah, well, maybe if you'd known that, you wouldn't have needed a new one. And not that it's any business of yours, but I just helped Sparky out here when I got the time. I got another job that pays the bills.
Then by all means, don't let me keep you.
Well, I guess I better head back to the station and face the music. Just hope Joel doesn't come down on me too hard.
Hey, how are you?
Hey, Craig.
How's Ned doing?
He's still in a coma.
Is there any word on Holden?
Yeah, and it's not good. They found his car in the river. There's no sign of him, though.
Greg, hello.
Hey, Emma, how are you? Caleb just told me about they found Holden's car.
I'm okay. I'm okay.
So's he, I'm sure of it.
Thank you.
Hi.
Valerie make her plane okay?
Yeah, sure. What are you still doing here? I thought you were going to be out looking for Holden.
Yeah, well, I was just on my way back to the station. I'll see you.
Julie, what's going on here?
What?
Well, obviously there's something that he's not telling us. What is it, about Holden? Come on. What is it? Tell me, I want to know.
On February 4th, Mrs. McKechnie unlawfully left the hospital after she was informed she'd be held in quarantine until the disposition of her case.
And you're certain you made it clear to Mrs. McKechnie that she was to be released from the hospital into the custody of the INS?
Absolutely, Your Honor.
I was sick. I had a fever. I didn't know what I was...
McKechnie, I presume you were aware of what you were doing the first time you took flight from the O'Hare Airport, as the other officer testified. Then we may reasonably conclude that you were willfully disregarding the law the second time as well.
Also endangering the public health, since she was suffering from a tropical disease at the time she left the hospital.
Thank you, Mr. Hogan. Do you have anything to say, Mrs. McKechnie?
Do I? Well, first of all, I couldn't have endangered a flea since I was never really contagious at all. It's there in the medical records. And secondly, I didn't know that the law gave the INS the right to treat me like a criminal when I really haven't done anything wrong.
Escaping from custody is a violation of...
You've made your point, Mr. Hogan. Mrs. McKechnie.
Thank you. Yes, I bent the law, Your Honor. But, Your Honor, I'd like for you to put yourself in my position. I was in that jungle for 3 years. I was hungry. I was sick. I was afraid I was going to die out there, and no one would even know. And then I decided to live. And from that very day, all I could do was look forward to the next day, because I knew it would bring me closer to finding my way back to my husband, my life. And then when that glorious day came, some bureaucrat wanted to lock me up for committing the horrible crime of living instead of dying.
You have anything further to say?
Yes, Your Honor, I do. No, Your Honor.
Your Honor, if I might.
Go ahead, Mr. McKechnie.
I feel deeply responsible. You see, I underestimated Shannon's courage, her determination to return to this country and the people she loves. Had I any inkling whatsoever, if anything, Shannon is a hero. If the law is truly just, it would celebrate her courage and the fact that she's alive, as I do, as do all of us that love her.
Thank you, Mr. McKechnie. If there's nothing further, I will review the facts, and I will give you my decision shortly.
Look at that, 1:45 and 2 seconds. Here is your check. Now, can I have my car, or do I have to, like, jump through hoops of fire?
Well, the right amount would have helped.
$169.24. $169.24.
9. 169.29.
What? That is not a 9. That is a 4.
Look, just float me a nickel, all right? And we'll call it even.
This is not happening. I can't believe this is happening. I just... I have a quarter and I have 4 pennies. Here's a quarter. May I have change, please?
Sorry, don't have any.
Look, just take this lousy quarter and give me my car.
No, I don't want you to feel like you got ripped off. All right, I'll spot you a nickel. Next time you bring her in, I'll add to your bill.
Is this some sort of, like, hidden video show or something? Because if it's not, I really don't think there's going to be a next time.
Well, in that case, the way you've been riding that clutch, honey, you might want to find someplace else soon.
Thank you for that little piece of unsolicited advice. Now, can I have my car keys so I can get the hell out of here?
Mrs. McKechnie, I have carefully considered the facts of this case. And while the court is mindful of the extenuating circumstances, nevertheless, It cannot tolerate your flagrant and repeated disregard for the law. I therefore order you to perform 200 hours of community service to be determined in lieu of a fine and imprisonment.
Thank goodness. Oh, I don't have to go to jail. Oh.
I've been looking for you, Snyder. The way I see it, I don't have a choice. I'm suspending you from the force.
We may have a lead on Holden. Turns out there was a map in the car. It's pretty waterlogged, but forensic is working on it. With a little luck, we may come up with a clue to find out where he was heading.
Okay, the Gilberts are checked in at the Lakeview with their daughter, who was in their old Mitchell Center last year. And they're planning to be here bright and early tomorrow morning to meet with Kim and answer any last-minute questions before we tape.
First-rate work, Janice. This show is going to be a winner. We're even beefing up the promos to make sure it pays off in the ratings.
That's what we all want.
That's right. You keep up the good work.
Okay, see you later. Dr. Brad Wyndham, please. Just tell him it's Janice. Wynn, I'm sorry if I got you at a bad time, but I just wanted to double check. The vial you gave me in New York, you're absolutely sure it'll knock Kim out for 24 hours? Perfect.
Coming Easter Sunday to CBS, the story of a young woman with hope beyond measure and faith beyond belief, from the beloved novel Tyne Daly and Kelly Martin as Christie.
Damien's waited long enough. He wants his wife back, and he wants her now, even if it costs him his life. Tomorrow, as the world turns. And have you ever been so desperate you'd risk everything to get what you want? Will desperation get Bridget busted? Next on Guiding Light.
Children's Clothes by Good Lad of Philadelphia. Furs by Christie Brothers. Join us tomorrow for As the World Turns.